I went to Costco and we got these Fuyu persimmons. This is a persimmon. Isn't that pretty? So they are originally from Japan, but now they are grown all over the world. And these are from California and they're very sweet. These are a little bit not as ripe as some of you can let them get. You can get really, really sweet. And they remind me a little bit of like an orange. Like they have a little bit of a sweet flavor, a little bit of a citrusy flavor. I really love these. So I peel them. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a persimmon compote, just like a nice chunky one. I wanna serve it with a whipped cream cheese for dessert. So hubby and I are gonna be making tacos tonight, just a simple, regular old taco recipe. He started putting like barbecue sauce in our tacos and everybody fell in love with it, and we've been doing it ever since. And it has to be at least close to 10 years or so that we've been doing it. So this is what it looks like. And all I'm doing right now is I'm removing the stem, right? And I'm removing the skins, right? So we're gonna remove these. And I already cut up like 5 in here. We're gonna use 6 persimmons. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna poach them first in this great liquid. So we're gonna use 2/3 of a cup of water. We're gonna use about 1/2 cup of sugar because like I said, these are not as sweet as I can let them get. But I wanted to make this compote, right? Then I'm gonna put in some orange juice. We just freshly squeezed some orange juice. So we're gonna put that in there. I also have in here a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and a 1/2 teaspoon of orange extract. So that's gonna go in. And then a pinch of salt, of course, because salt always enhances flavor, right? So you always wanna add a little bit of salt when you're making anything that's sweet, right? And then I'm gonna put in some spices, okay? So we have some star anise. It has a beautiful anise smell and flavor, right? I'm gonna do a cinnamon stick and a couple of peels of orange. And I'm just gonna do like 2 little cloves, okay? So that's all I'm gonna put in there for now. We're gonna boil this for just about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I want the flavors of all of the spices we put in here, the orange peel, to bloom, right? So I'm gonna turn this on. We're gonna put this in here on a low flame, okay? All I wanna do is get all of the sugar melted and all of the spices bloomed. Now we're gonna cut up our persimmon. And all we're gonna do for this, cut it into chunks, just like this, and then cut them in half. That's it. I just want a nice, chunky, really nice persimmon that I'm gonna put over our cream cheese, right? So all this goes in here. Okay, once you cut these into chunks, you're gonna notice like inside of them, I don't see any seeds in here, right? So we're gonna use this whole entire thing. This all goes in, boom, 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 right? So this is 6 persimmons now. We're gonna put the persimmons in once this is already nicely melted and melded together, okay? So we'll wait about 2 to 3 minutes and then we're gonna put our persimmons in. When that starts to like cook and boil, it'll cook for about 8 minutes once I put the persimmons in and I see them like getting really soft. I still want them to be chunky though, right? I'm not making a jam. I wanna make a compote. I want it to actually have pieces of fruit in there. And then when that happens, we're gonna go ahead and whip up our cream cheese because the way I wanna serve it is I wanna serve it in a nice little bowl with our whipped sweetened cream cheese on the bottom and our persimmon compote warm on top. I've never done this before, so I'm hoping that this comes out well, but I think it's gonna be delicious. So we'll be right back. All right, now if you can see it's boiling, it smells amazing. It smells like fall in here with the cinnamon and the clove and all of that. So we're gonna take these beautiful persimmons now and we're gonna put them into poaching liquid, okay? And we're gonna let this now go for about I'm gonna say 6 to 8 minutes. I'll let you know for sure. Some of them are a little bit more ripe than others, so we'll see how long it takes for all of them to become nice and soft. And I'm literally just gonna let this sit here now and poach. And when this is done, I'll come back, I'll show you what that looks like, and we'll go ahead and start whipping our cream cheese. Okay, so now that we have boiled it down for about 8 or 9 minutes, right? So some of them are really soft. Some of them still have a little bite, which is perfect. What I want to do now is I actually want to strain it because I want to save the syrup. And I'm going to cook the syrup down a little bit so that, hold on, we grab some mitts here if I can, so that we can actually put a little bit of syrup on the top when we're serving it for our dessert, okay? I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, look at that, isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at that, so pretty. All right, I am going to move this to the side. And all I'm gonna do now is just pour this in here and reserve that liquid. I wanna burn my hands. I know this is hot. All right. And you see that? Isn't that beautiful? So this liquid in here, we're gonna cook that down, okay? While that's cooking down, we're gonna go ahead and make our whipped cream cheese. All right, here we go. Look at that. Oh my God, it smells so good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision because this smells amazing. Okay, this is gonna go back in. I am going to continue cooking this on the stove. All right, so it gets nice and thick. It's already there. We're just gonna make it a little thicker. So funny, I laugh every time I look at my stove because we were supposed to fix the knob like, I don't know, 6 months ago, and we yet to fix the knob. All right, so what we're gonna do in here is we are gonna make a whipped cream cheese, okay? We're gonna use an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. You can use mascarpone, you can use, I think it's called Neufchâtel or whatever. It's like less fat. Or you can use pure cream cheese, which is what I'm using. I'm just gonna put in the whole block, and it is room temperature, just so it whips up a little bit better. I'm also going to use a little bit of orange and vanilla extract, so half a teaspoon of each. And I'm gonna whip this up first, okay? We're gonna whip it for about 2 to 3 minutes. I just want it to get light. All right, we're gonna scrape some of this down, right? Because as you know, everything always gets stuck on the bottom. I wanna make sure that's all cleaned. And then we're gonna add in our powdered sugar. I'm doing 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and I already put in the vanilla and the orange extract. We're gonna put in our powdered sugar. Okay, we're gonna whip that up together slowly. You don't wanna get it all over you. All right, now, we're gonna scrape that down one more time, or maybe more than one more time. We're gonna scrape this down, and then I'm just gonna add a tiny bit. I had some coconut milk in the fridge, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of coconut milk just to loosen it up a little bit, because I want it to be spreadable, right? I don't want it to be so thick that it feels like I'm scooping into ice cream. I want it to be a little bit light and airy, and something I can just layer on the bottom of the persimmon. All right, we're gonna check this one more time. Oh, that's looking good, yes. And look, I didn't even use maybe a half a teaspoon of milk. You have milk or heavy cream, just use that. I do want to add a pinch of salt. I always love adding a pinch of salt to anything that is sweet. It just brings out a lot of flavor, and I want to make sure that we enhance this completely, right? So here we go. All right, that is looking really good. Now, I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to like have to make this a very difficult thing. I want this to be very smooth and tasty and easy for me to put together. And that's what I want for you too, right? Life gives us enough things that are challenging, but if you have something that maybe you haven't worked with before, like persimmons, and you're like, what do I do with this? This is going to be a great dessert. So I just want to check the sweetness on this. Perfect. That's really good. It's not super sweet. It's not tart. It's like in the balance of in between. It's perfect. So all I want to do is put a little bit of this cream cheese on the bottom. Okay. Now, I don't, like I said, want it to be really hard or anything like that. So I want it to be nice and smooth. You can use a piping bag if you want. I don't feel like piping right now, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to put a little bit of cream cheese on the bottom. See that? Okay. And then all I'm going to do is take some of this persimmon that I have here, which is gorgeous. I'm going to use a little bit of this and put it right on the top like that. See how it's still steaming? Oh my gosh. I want to eat the clove, although you can eat cloves. It's good for you. I'm going to pour this on top like this. Okay, just like that. Nice and simple. See the steam coming off of that? And let's not forget our syrup. This is a beautiful whipped cream cheese on the bottom with the persimmons on top. And then I have this beautiful, look at this. It is luscious and beautiful. Look at that. Oh, okay. That's going to go on the top, just like this. Oh my gosh. Guys. Oh, I wasn't even sure what I was going to make with this. You want to try a delicious dessert that will never fail you? Do this persimmon compote with a whipped cream cheese and then the persimmon orange syrup right on top. Oh my God, so good. So good. Do you see that? Oh. Top this off with a little bit of maybe some cinnamon or powdered sugar or anything like that if you want. I'm just going to use a tiny, tiny bit of cinnamon because we don't really need that much. It is way too beautiful. Powder, powder, powder. Oh, guys, check that out. So delicious. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. You guys want to make a good dessert? I got one for you. Persimmons and a whipped cream cheese. Enjoy. All right, guys, this is another one for the books on the Purpose-Filled Kitchen. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one is freaking awesome. All right, enjoy.